So the formula is E as in energy, plus V as in value, plus C as in currency equals H, which is happy or ever after, however you define happiness.
Right.
So that's the formula itself.
This video.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's so simple.
It is so simple. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. It's Linda Edgecombe here with my very dear friend and just awesome all-around woman, Beth Haniszewski. For a few of you on my Facebook and a few of my programs know Beth very well. We've done a lot of programs together over the last few years. And there's no one better for me to want to interview, especially around relationships, is Beth. She is, I'm going to read her background, a little bit of a bio. But really, what I love about Beth is she's creative and she loves to dig, and I mean, not literally dig, but dig deep, think deep, and you know, she has a lot of really, really great answers. Doesn't have all the answers, and that's a beautiful part of her too. But that she's just one friggin' fun lady, and for me, that's primo. So let me read a little bit about Beth, and then we'll get on. I've got some great questions. You want to sit back and maybe take a pen and paper out and take a few notes. Anyways, Beth Haniszewski is an international speaker, coach, and chicken farmer who specializes in relationships. She lives literally just down the road from us, about 4 minutes away. Beth believes the quality of your life always comes down to the quality of the relationships we have with other humans, with the world, and the most important relationship of all, the one we have with ourselves. She has been called the Swiss Army knife of coaches, and drawing on her 20+ years experience in helping people overcome challenges, obstacles, and limiting beliefs about what is possible in the way where she can help you uncover the essential truth of what needs to be done with simple yet powerful strategies. She's very honest. She shares her life here in Kelowna with her husband, 2 children, 2 dogs, and 7 chickens. All right, so welcome, Beth. And for those of you who don't know Beth, you're going to want to look her up under, what's your coaching site again?
Mindset Coaching.
Mindsetcoaching.com. So, you know, I've been a friend of Beth's for a long time, and so I get coaching on the side when we're doing other things, which is, you know, which is great, because you know, I've been with my husband now for 31 years, and you know, that's a long time. So regardless of what Beth and I do, I tend to get a little side coaching, whether I want it or not. And a big part of my own transformation over the last couple of years has been honesty and facing yourself and looking in the mirror. And one of the biggest places we spend our energy, as you know, Beth, is in our relationships. Our primary relationships with our partners, and most of us have relationships with a variety of people in our workplaces.
Yeah.
So just to start with, so what, you know, you've seen it all, you've probably heard it all. What would you say is probably one of the most common issues, if you want to call it an issue, common issues people would have in their primary relationships?
That's a great question, actually. And I think that, I don't think it really even matters if it's your intimate relationship or your children relationship, your work relationship. I think it's actually the same no matter what kind of relationship that you are thinking about right now. Is that, I would say, is another sort of category of unmet expectations. And when we have a relationship, we come with our belief about what that relationship should be like. And most of us think, you know, generally speaking, we want our relationships to be supportive and fun and respectful and kind, or, you know, those sort of qualities.
Right.
I think we all sort of have that as a general expectation, but then there's nuances to those expectations where how things go on a day-to-day basis, and I think when those things get unmet, then that's when relationship starts to become more fractured and there's tension, which then leads us into how do we deal with that.
Right.
And that's, you know, some people deal with it by not dealing with it at all.
You get a phone call.
Yeah.
You get a phone call, because most of your coaching I know is via the phone or
Yeah.
Skype or something.
Yeah.
And someone has, you know, well, he's just not doing what I, you know, who is this guy? I've been with him for whatever. Unmet expectation. Where do you start with that person?
I think where I begin, I think it's hard to say because every conversation, of course, is unique to that person. But I think always I will begin with that, you know, what I teach is that relationship formula.
Right.
So it always kind of comes down to that. So I think there's some certain elements that all relationships, certainly really good relationships have certain elements to them.
Okay.
So when I hear, oh, so-and-so's not doing, showing up the way I want, or, being a jerk or whatever, and they're not doing what I asked them to do, which is right. And darn it, don't I hate it when people don't do what we ask them to do, or,
Just looking at my children. Kidding.
But so I will always come back to the source, which is you, which I think is challenging in relationship coaching, because most people want me to defend and protect that darn jerk or
Justify
that person.
why I'm calling you.
Yeah, right? It's them, and you want me to be a partner in crime with you. But coaching is, I think, surprising to people, because I will always say, I will come back to the only thing you can control, which is yourself. So then if someone says, so-and-so's not doing what I've asked, then I will ask for the context, right? I will ask for things like, what's been happening in the relationship before this ask was made? How are you showing up in this relationship? How was this ask made? What was the tone of that? What was the energy of that? What was the expectation of that? What was the tolerance of that? All of those nuances become important to me, because if you want to influence your relationship, not necessarily change the person in a relationship, but if you want to be a relationship influencer,
Right. Love that word.
I believe that how you show up is the most important thing. So.
Okay, so that being said, I mean, as a woman
Just forgets 5 more questions.
No, I know for sure, because as a woman who has been in a long-term relationship, I get frustrated and tired of being the one that's always got to bring it up, start it up. Let's look at it again. And you and I've talked about this. It's like who's going to go first, right? And it's just like, and that gets my back. Isn't that funny? I don't know if it's funny. Maybe it's normal. Gets my back up.
It's totally normal. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's very, very, very common, and I think one of the things that in this space of, do you want to be an relationship influencer, or do you want to be a relationship sufferer?
Okay.
So you have to choose.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a sufferer, then you should totally wait. Wait for them to change, wait for them to go first, wait for them to get it together, wait for them to do the workshop, the personal growth, read the book, have the conversation. You should totally wait. I know I have waited, in my own relationship, as you know. I don't ever profess to have a perfect relationship, because there's been times in my own relationship with my husband that I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if we're going to make it. I don't know if this happily ever after is very unhappily ever after right now. And I know that one of the greatest pains for me was waiting for him. And only when I decided to do the work,
To move.
to have the conversation, to change how I was showing up, only then did that relationship change.
Okay. So not everybody watching this is maybe in a intimate relationship with someone.
Yeah.
There's probably a few who are not. And there's lots of people who are watching who have workplaces.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most common issue if comes up for people in the workplace with relationships of their co-workers? What?
Well, I think, under that category of unmet expectations, but I think a really common thing in the workplace is people are unable to have difficult conversations.
Oh, I think
Right? We just don't, we're not taught.
Yeah.
We're not taught the skills of how
No.
do you have a difficult conversation.
right.
In a way that is kind or respectful or intentional.
Okay, so Beth, if you can give us a quick, sort of Coles Notes version of the relationship formula, because it is just such a beautiful tool that somebody's helped me a lot, and I know lots of people. So, yeah, it's very valuable.
Okay, it's my pleasure, and I really think that this formula, it's like the foundation. It's like if you build your house on a good, strong foundation, it's where you begin. So that's where I always begin when I'm coaching people, is with this formula. So the formula is E as in energy, plus V as in value, plus C as in currency, equals H, which is happy or happily ever after, however you define happiness.
Right.
So that's the formula itself. So what is that?
E plus
V plus C equals H.
Okay.
Okay. So the E stands for energy, and that's I'm not talking about just sort of like, I'm talking about the masculine and feminine energy, because in my coaching, I don't say men and women, because we're talking in the area of relationships. So I don't say this only applies to females, this only applies to men, this only applies to heterosexual relationships, non-sexual, whatever, all the energy is important to me. So I deal in the energy of masculine and feminine. And most people will be able to, even if you've never studied the masculine and feminine, if I said to you, is this person masculine or feminine energy to you? People will go, oh, they're totally masculine. They associate a certain energy to how a person shows up, whether they're a female or a male.
Right.
So we talk about that, and I think, so when, if somebody's watching this right now and says, oh, I wonder how my relationship is a little sideways, I always say, how's your energy? Do you run masculine energy? Do you run feminine energy? And then I go one step further where I'll go, well, is that energy what you would call kind of light, like good to be around, fun, joyful, on purpose kind of energy, or is it dark? Is it kind of resenting or bitchy or whiny or angry energy? Like what kind of energy do you bring to that relationship, regardless of how justified you might feel in running the energy you run? Just check in. What is your energy? What is their energy?
And I'm assuming, because where my head goes right away is depends. That depends.
Right. Well, yeah, and you see that all the time, right? You see people, this beautiful, happy, wonderful, light energy person, and then they get a call, from their mother, and they get all dark, or they get a call from someone they're angry at, and they change their energy immediately because they've got stuff with that person. Not to pick on poor mothers, but I'm just giving that as an example. You're right. We do show up where we could be one way with our girlfriends and quite another way with our partners.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's energy.
Energy, right. So second is value. And again, this I think sometimes is absolutely mind-blowing to people who've never understood that both the masculine and feminine, so again, whichever energy, even though we can run both, but we have a sort of a home identifier where we identify with ourselves as feminine or we identify as masculine. Again, whether you're man or woman. So from that place, the feminine and the masculine have what I call the highest value. So there's something that you will die for, kill for, or freak out about if you don't have it. And this, but the masculine, of course, is freedom. Right? And not just, freedom like freedom to, like Braveheart kind of freedom, but freedom to do what you want and believe what you want and do the kind of work that you want and to even do chores however you want, You're free. You feel very free.
You're not tied to something.
You're not tied.
Right.
Not to say you're unable to have commitments and all those things, but there's a sense of freedom. You feel freedom in your life.
Okay.
Whereas for the feminine, it's safety. It's totally different. And when you have, let's say you have a woman who identifies with the feminine, with this safety, it's everything. So when we don't feel, so you think of the opposite for, say, if you have a woman who's feminine who identifies with safety as their highest value, if a woman doesn't feel financially safe, emotionally safe, physically safe, spiritually safe, sexually, any safety you can imagine that is taken away, you have a crazy person.
And they turn into fearful.
They turn into they're totally scared because it'll activate a primal instinct, as will the masculine when freedom is taken away. I mean, people will go to war over these things.
Okay, so we've got energy plus value,
and then the currency. So this is kind of the fun one because, again, when you start thinking about relationships, in form of currency, and when we think of currency, of course, you think of money, right? We get paid to do things. Well, we look for being paid in our relationships. There's a currency that we're seeking, right? We like to be paid. We like to get what we want, right? And it's really a version of how we get our needs met. But again, understanding that in a relationship, this formula, that if you understand that, like the masculine, for example, seeks appreciation and trust.
Okay.
So they're seeking that.
That's their currency.
That's their currency.
Appreciation and trust.
They're looking for appreciation. They're looking to be trusted. Those are huge, high payoff currencies in relationship. And of course, this is obviously, we could talk about this for all weekend to really understand the how you implement this. But and then again, in the feminine side, the currency for the feminine is connection and protection. So again, we're linking that to that safety piece again.
Big for me.
Right. We just want to connect. That's why we love talking. That's feminine. We could talk all day because we feel connection. Whereas the masculine, not so much. They don't need to talk all night.
Right. Gotcha.
So does that make sense?
Totally makes sense.
I mean, it may not, but I mean, those are the kind of things that in the nuts and bolts of this formula is what I do in coaching and where I'm training or workshopping or whatever is teach people how that looks like in practice.
Okay. Okay, so taking the relationship formula just and pushing it a little bit further, especially for people who are watching.
Yep.
Energy plus
Value.
plus currency. What's something that our viewers could practice today? Moving, maybe they're seeing this in the morning. Who knows when they're watching it? But something they could actually put to the test. What would you
In
suggest?
terms of implementing the formula,
Yes,
or
yes.
anything that could change your relationship.
Well, maybe it's at work, maybe it's at home. But I'm just thinking, everything's practice. Everything is an experiment, and so.
Yeah.
The proof's in the pudding when you give it a bit of, you try it out. So I just want to give them a little bit of something that they could give a try.
Okay, well then I think that, there's something you could do with all of them. So let's take currency, because I think currency is the easiest.
Okay.
So let's look at from a man-woman point of view, just for an example, although it can work in any relationship. But let's say you're dealing with a man, whether you work with him, live with him, sleep with him, whatever you do with him. Okay? And you want to practice the formula.
Right.
So his currency is appreciation and trust.
Right.
Okay? So this is what it would look like, is that when he does something, could be the smallest thing. Let's say he does something in the house, does something at work, wherever you are, is that you just go out of your way to appreciate him.
Okay.
Thank you for that. That was awesome. I just appreciate so much that you took your time to do that. And it's sincere, not fake appreciation.
Right.
It should be clear. You can't give fake currency, just like we can't, go shopping with counterfeit. We cannot give fake
Canadian
currency.
Tire money.
It does not.
No.
We cannot give Canadian Tire money.
Okay.
You have to give real appreciation. So you actually have to feel it and go, I appreciate that. And I can't tell you how often, and I've made this mistake myself, so that someone will do something for you and we criticize it. We'll say, I wish you'd done it more like that, or too bad you didn't clean that too, or we criticize when somebody does something for us. So if you want to try the formula, do not say the criticism. Just say thank you. Thank you for doing that great thing. Thank you for cleaning the floor. Even if it was like the worst job you've ever seen in your life, you have to say thank you. Thank you for that. Sincerely, because you're thanking them for their effort, not necessarily that it was a perfect job.
Okay, so, and if a man is watching this, give him maybe an example of what he could do for a female in currency.
Oh, that's so easy. For men to absolutely make a woman's day, and they don't really realize even how easy it is. But if a man is watching this and you want to make someone that you know, a female, day, is try being 100% present with her when she talks to you.
Oh,
Just be present.
y'all listen to that much?
Like literally give her your undivided attention, as if what she has to say, what she's feeling, what she's doing, there's nothing more important than that. Give her your undivided attention for even 5 minutes.
Wow.
Is a relationship game changer, because you just feel seen in her. It's beautiful.
All these women are going to be showing their husbands
Yeah.
this video.
That's a beautiful thing. It's
Yeah.
so simple.
It is so simple. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Beth, I know it's a quick, quick interview, but just beautiful gems and some simple solutions and strategies just to move forward. So I just want to thank you for that.
Oh,
and
my pleasure.
for anybody who wants to dive in, I've had lots of people over the years say, do you do relationship I don't do relationship coaching, but I know someone who does. Beth is just, say one more time, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
Just go to my website, mindsetcoaching.com.
Mindsetcoaching.com. Reach out to Beth, and she will do an amazing job for you. Believe me, I know a lot of people who've worked with Beth. I've worked with Beth. She's a great speaker, great facilitator. Those beautiful things. So have yourself a great day, and see you next time.